New York, CBSNewYork AP. New York City voters are heading to the polls Tuesday to decide whether to give incumbent Democratic Mayor Bill de Blasio a second term. De Blasio faces Republican State Assemblywoman Nicole Malliotakis of Staten Island and several third-party candidates, including independent candidate Bo Dietl, a businessman and former detective. In a light blue suit and a red and white striped tie, de Blasio voted Tuesday morning in the basement of the Park Slope Library, WCBS 880's Mike Smeltz reported. De Blasio spoke about what it would mean to him to become the first Democrat to win re-election as mayor of New York City since Ed Koch. "There's no reason in the world we should have had 20 years of Republican mayors in New York City," he said. Photos, Election Day 2017. De Blasio has campaigned on efforts to increase affordable housing and address his city's high cost of living. He's also cited low crime rates and touted his administration's rollout of universal pre-K for 4-year-olds. When asked what his major second-term goal would be, de Blasio said the city's affordability crisis, and then said he'd have more to say about it Tuesday night, 10:10 Wins John Monton reported. But Tuesday's election won't be without a fight from his opponents. Two top concerns for voters are property taxes and the issue of homelessness. Today is the day that New Yorkers will decide if they want another 4 years of corruption, of pay-to-play, of mismanagement, of deteriorating quality of life, of a homeless crisis, of broken subways, or if they want to take our city in a different direction, one that brings New York into the 21st century, Malliotakis said Tuesday. After voting at a school not far from her home on Staten Island, Malliotakis was emotional and wiping away tears while speaking about her mom and dad, who were standing by their side, 10:10 Wins Glenn Schuck reported. "Because they came as immigrants to this country, not speaking the language, not having any family," she said. "My mother fled a communist regime, my father came from Greece with $50 in his pocket. And yet today, they are casting a vote for their daughter to be mayor of the city of New York." Dietl is trying to draw attention to the controversy surrounding the mayor's campaign financing and accusation for pay-to-play access to City Hall. "The people of New York City, I think, realize what we're dealing with, the corruption of this mayor and what's going on," he said. "I think people are intelligent to know we do have a choice." Voters in New York will also decide whether the state should hold its first constitutional convention in 50 years. The state hasn't held a constitutional convention since 1967, and supporters of a new convention say it would be an opportunity to address chronic political corruption while updating and strengthening the state's governing document. Opponents worry deep-pocketed special interests could take over a convention and undermine existing constitutional safeguards. An odd assortment of individuals and groups have joined forces to campaign against a convention, including labor unions, gun rights supporters, Planned Parenthood, anti-abortion groups, top Republicans and leading Democrats. If a convention is approved, voters would later pick delegates who would consider changes to the Constitution in 2019. Any recommendations would have to be ratified by a statewide vote. Polls opened at 6 a.m. and will remain open until 9 p.m.